You gave me notes for today? For example, when we are cooking, his consciousness is always fixed on fire. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasim Tato Jayamudiriye Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Thank you for this opportunity to attempt to glorify Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam. Reading from today, Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, text number 24. Conversation between Narad and Vyasadeva. Matirmayi nibadeyam Navipyadeta karhichit Prajasarga nirodeyapi Smritischa mad anugrahat Matirmayi nibadeyam Navipadyeta karichit. Oh boy. Prajasarga nirodhyapi Shmitischa mad anugrahat Matirmayi nirbadeyam Navipadyeta karichit Prajasarga nirodhyapi Shmitischa mad anugrahat Matirmayi nirbadeyam Navipadyeta karichit Matirmayi nirbadeyam Navipadeta karichit Smritischa madmanugrahat. Mati, intelligence. Mai, devoted to me. Nirbada, engaged. Yam, this. Na, never. Vipadyeta, separate. Karichit, at the time, at any time. Praja, living beings. Sarga, at the time of creation. Nirode, also at the time of annihilation. Api, even much. Even. Smriti, remembrance. Cha, and. Mat, mind. Anugrahat, by the mercy of. Translation and purport, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Please repeat. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation, as well as at the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Purport. Devotional service rendered to the Personality of Godhead never goes in vain. Since the Personality of Godhead is eternal, intelligence applied in the service or anything done in relation is also permanent. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that such transcendental service rendered unto the Personality of Godhead accumulates birth after birth And when the devotee is fully mature, the total service counted together makes him eligible to enter into the association of personality of Godhead. Such accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, but increases till fully mature. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dharati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru and Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrasatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paridana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Shra Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagapute Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Who is speaking this verse?
Narad Muni was speaking what God is saying.
But who is speaking this verse? Krishna is speaking this verse. Right? So what happened? So we know this chapter begins with Srila Vyasadev's amazing inquiry into how Narada Muni acquired his potency. How he became such a prolific guru. Narada Muni's track record, his resume is unmatched. He has delivered so many personalities, starting with Ratnakar, or who became known as Valmiki Rishi. Of course, we have the great hunter, Mugrari, and so many personalities Narada Muni has delivered by his deep potency. So Srila Vyasadeva, in approaching Narada Muni, is curious. What is your history? What is your story? You are the son of Brahma now, appearing, from Brahma, but how you became such an illustrious personality? So Narada Muni has been explaining his prior life, his past life, in which he was the son of a maidservant and living in very meager, humble means. And he was faced with a catastrophic event, which is the loss of his mother. His only source of sustenance from a material perspective. And she was providing for him everything, though she was very limited in what she could provide, but she could provide the most important thing, which is love and care. She may not have been able to provide, the latest iPhone, the latest toys and gadgets, but she was able to provide her deep love. But when she left her body, Narada Muni was left alone. But here, in his response to such tragedy, we see his greatness. Because was he alone? No. Because Krishna is always with us. He is residing in our heart as Paramatma, and he is present everywhere through the chanting of his holy names, through the Archa Vigraha form, and then through even his separated material energies. So Narada Muni was not in the least disturbed by this very disturbing circumstance. That is a sign of devotional quality. When we are not disturbed in a disturbing circumstance, that is the strength, the power of bhakti. It's okay, easy to be undisturbed when things are going great. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. He was undisturbed in very disturbing circumstances. So Narada Muni had the same thing. So after the passing of his mother, he started walking north and going and going and going. And as we know, he was sitting under a banyan tree, and in intense meditation, he saw the Lord. And he went into ecstasy up to this point of bhava bhakti. Very mature state, very advanced state of bhakti. He reached. And then he lost. He lost that darshan. And he was beginning to lament and search. Why I want to see it again? And Krishna spoke to him. And he's been speaking these last few verses, and he'll speak a few more. And Krishna is saying, intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. So, our success in spiritual life is based on strong enthusiasm, determination to practice. This determination, this dedication, this is what propels one forward. Rupa Goswami says, Utsaha Nishchaya Daryat, that one must be enthusiastic in devotional service. Right? So, enthusiasm comes from knowledge. If I have knowledge that there is a pot of gold buried in this forest here, how enthusiastic we will be to go find it. Enthusiastic. Because I have knowledge that there is a pot of gold there. And I have faith that that money can get me some facilities within this material world. So my determination and my enthusiasm is based on knowledge and faith. And when one has knowledge fixed in the Supreme Lord, then one's enthusiasm, determination becomes fixed. So Krishna is saying, intelligence engaged in my devotion. This intelligence to know what is right and what is wrong. So let's back up for a second. What is the intelligence? The intelligence is the decision-making factor. We have this body. Who's the we? The spirit soul. And the soul has this material body. And within it, there is the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego. These are the subtle bodies that we possess. The gross body, this earth, air, fire, water, ether, the arms, leg, that's the gross body. But the subtle body is the mind, intelligence, false ego. So these are the possessions of the soul. So what is this intelligence? This intelligence is the decision maker. The mind is simply a database. it holds all of our desires. As we see things, hear things, smell things, touch things, taste things in this material world, desires form in the mind. And sometimes those desires become very intense, sometimes they're very passive. But they are stored in the mind. And when various desires pop up into our consciousness, let us eat this rasgulla. Intelligence is what decides, should we eat it or not? And if we have good intelligence, then we'll assess, has it been offered to the Lord? I should not eat anything unoffered to the Lord. Yes, it's been offered to the Lord. Oh, okay. Do I have any health issues that should hold me back from eating this rasgulla? No. Doctor gave clear order. Okay. So then intelligence decides, eat the rasgulla. So the intelligence is important in us making good decisions. How many of us make great decisions every day of our life and never make a bad decision? So, why is that the case? Two things. One, when we let the senses roam hither and thither, to this place, that place, here, there, the desires in the mind become very strong. They become filled with lust. When Arjuna asked Krishna, hey, this science is so simple. Surrender to Krishna and everything becomes perfect. But why am I so foolish that it's so difficult to do? And Krishna says, it is lust only. So, when the senses roam wildly and the mind accumulates all these strong desires, the intelligence knows you should not eat this. It is not offered to the Lord. It is not prashad. But the desire becomes so strong and intense. Then we start rationing. Oh, but you are hungry. Oh, it's vegetarian. We give many, rationalizations. And what happens? We consume. So this is a symptom of weak intelligence. This is a symptom of weak intelligence. When we let the mind determine what we are going to do. Right? Intelligence knows the day before, I should get up tomorrow and attend Mangal Arti. Intelligence knows this is the best thing I can do tomorrow. To be seen by the Lord as soon as he awakens from his restful state. Chanting the holy names of the Lord during Brahma Murta, nothing more auspicious. Wasting our time sleeping or anything else during Brahma Murta is a colossal misuse of intelligence. Intelligence knows. But what happens? The mind gives us reasons why we shouldn't wake up. So, how to make sure that the intelligence always wins? How many of us would like all of our actions from this point forward to be determined by our intelligence and not by our mind? All of us, right? We know that is how we'll find success. So, what to do? So Krishna is saying here, intelligence engaged by in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. So when we fix our intelligence in devotional service to the Lord, it means that our intelligence will not be overrun by our mind. And so how to fix our intelligence in devotion? That's the next question, right? How to fix that intelligence? Well, because we are not yet so independent, because we are not so fixed up yet, we, with our intelligence, surrender our free will to Guru, to Srila Prabhupada. And instead of using our own intelligence to think, I know what's good for me, we say, I don't know what's good for me. That's intelligent. But Srila Prabhupada, Gurudev, they know what's good for me. And so I follow their instruction, their teaching. Because I know what they know for me is better than what I know for me. Just like, again, I always use the example, in the house, child knows, mother and father knows what's best for me. But still they think, I know. And when they exercise that I know, most times that ends up in disaster. That's the same thing like us as adults. Right? So intelligence fixed in devotion, in practical terms, what it means, that we give up our own thinking that I know what's best for me. And we surrender to. And this takes, of course, what does this require? To do this? Humility. Humility. It takes the understanding, the recognition that I don't know. So when humility is there, then this surrender becomes very easy. Then the intelligence becomes fixed. And the actions that result become steady. And one's progress in devotional service goes very fast, very nicely and smoothly. Now, Srila Prabhupada comments in the purport that whatever we do in devotional service, it never goes in vain. So this is the ultimate understanding. If I have an intelligence, and I say, I have an option between activity A and activity B. Activity A is devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Activity B is some mundane material activity. Which activity is temporary and which activity is eternal? Activity A. Whatever we do in devotional service, the result of that service is our eternal asset. It goes into our spiritual bank account. And that spiritual bank account we take with us, birth to birth, like Narada Muni. Narada Muni is speaking about the bhakti, the bank account he built in his past life as an explanation for his current circumstance. that activity generates eternal results. Activity B, I go and do whatever it is. What is the duration of that result? Eternal? It's very temporary. Whatever money I have accumulated in this planet, will I take it with me in my next life? That bank account, I leave back. Leave back. Whatever family I have created in this world, do I take any of those assets with me? No. I leave back. Whatever fame I have created in this world, take it with me? Next birth, I'm born and I have still 1.7 million followers on Instagram? No. You're known to nobody except your mother and father and close relatives. Your intelligence even. You may be a PhD, scholar. But in your next birth, you learn 2 + 2 all over again. So, all the things that we acquire, temporary. So if we have any intelligence, what will we work for? Activity A or activity B? It's very simple. Right? So, when we render service to the Lord, Srila Prabhupada is saying, because He is eternal, any service to Krishna is also eternal. We may forget what service we did in our past life, but who doesn't forget? Krishna. So Krishna always knows where we are. And this has a very practical conclusion for us. Sometimes in doing devotional service, we become disturbed because nobody recognized my service. I did this service. Nobody said thank you. Nobody said good job. Nobody acknowledged. Or I did this service and then everybody forgot. But what is the ultimate comforting factor? Who didn't forget? Who knows unequivocally what service we did? Krishna always knows everything that we do in devotional service. So yes, others may forget, but the most important person to know never forgets. Very comforting, very soothing, very inspiring to do our service. Because we can know, in the end, Krishna knows. But we also have to be careful. Because in doing our service, Krishna knows the motive in doing our service. Why am I doing this service? Am I doing this service to gain status, to gain adoration from others? Or am I doing this service as a pure offering to please Krishna? So Krishna knows what is in the core of our heart. We may speak things, but that Krishna doesn't listen to. He knows and listens to what's in the core of our heart. So it cuts both ways. The great benefit, never we should be disturbed. Krishna always knows what we did in devotional service. But also, He knows the mood in which we are doing our service. So this intelligence is to be fixed in devotional service. So Krishna is telling Narada Muni here that you keep meditating on me. You keep remembering me. And by this, you will ultimately come to me. That's why Krishna says, Manmano bhava mad bhakto. You, manmana, you put your mind on me. This shmaranam, remembering, is the essential principle of devotional service. Smarta viva satatam vishnu vishnartam agnamachyatu sarva vede nishadyashur etayor eva kinkaraha. This idea of remembering Krishna and never forgetting him. This is the essential principle of bhakti. All the rules and regulations, principles of bhakti, are servants of this principle. And there's a logical reason for that. What do we remember? What things do we remember? We remember things that we love. Does a mother ever forget her child? Oh no, I forgot about my child. No. A mother's consciousness is constantly child shmaranam. Does a businessman ever forget his bank balance? Because his attachment is to his bank balance. Does a lust-filled person ever forget or stop thinking about the opposite sex? No. Does a devotee ever forget Krishna? So whatever is the object of our love, that is what we remember. That is what we have shmaranam. Remembering Krishna is the only means of success in life. So how to remember Krishna? We have to use our intelligence to render devotional service so that we can purify the heart, so that we can awaken this dormant love for Krishna. Our original love is not anything material. Our original love is Krishna. But we have lost it. And through the practice of good sadhana, by the regulative practice of the bhakti, what is the result? We will awaken that love that is lying dormant in the heart. And if we awaken that love, then Krishna Shmaranam happens naturally. So, Krishna is telling her, Narada Muni, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. So by the mercy of Krishna, we render devotional service. So Rupa Goswami explains very clearly this formula. Right? And he gives this verse in Nectar of Devotion, Kritit Sadhya Bhavat Sadhya Bhava Sasaranavida Nitya Siddhasya Bhavasya Prakritam Riddha Sadyate. That this bhakti, this love for Krishna, it awakens in the heart by our sadhana, by good sadhana. So we should fix our intelligence to intensify our sadhana, our regulative practice of devotional service. Chanting our rounds very nicely, reading Shrimadbhagavatam reading Srila Prabhupada's books very nicely, rendering practical devotional service. When we put our intelligence into these activities, then we are guaranteed success. And whatever we accomplish through these means, it is our eternal asset, our eternal account. So if we have to sacrifice something to make this happen, is it worth it? We may have to sacrifice some other activities to make this happen, but it's worth it. And, Mangal Arati is the ultimate test of sacrifice. Why? We have to sacrifice sleep, we have to sacrifice late night activities, we have to sacrifice, our being lazy, so many things we have to sacrifice. But the reward is incalculable. Little sacrifice to Krishna, he reciprocates many times more back. And so that is our opportunity. That is our intelligence engaged in devotion. And that will never be. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki. Nanta Koti Vaishnava ki. Grantharaj, Shrimadbhagavatam. Any comments, questions, discussion?
How did Narad Muni hear how what Krishna said?
How he heard.
Yeah.
Yes. Krishna speaks in many different ways, right? So he had darshan of the Lord, right? Krishna is present anywhere, so he can manifest himself. So he took his darshan away, but the sound was still coming. So he was hearing directly from Krishna. Just as Arjuna heard directly from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We have, just as Lord Brahma heard from Krishna at the beginning of creation. So Narada Muni is hearing. And we also can hear from Krishna. How? How do we hear from Krishna? You want to hear directly from Radha Kunj Bihari. How to hear? You read Srila Prabhupada's books. That is Krishna speaking directly through Guru Parampara. If we want to hear from Krishna, we read Srila Prabhupada's books and we hear from Guru, because that is Parampara. Who is at the top of the disciplic accession? Krishna. And Krishna is speaking and is passed down. So that by the time we hear, who are we hearing from? Krishna. Through Guru. This is the Parampara. So reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we can have the same fortune Narada Muni had. Hearing from the bona fide spiritual master, same fortune Narada Muni had. Same fortune Arjuna had. Yes, yeah, we can look at it.
How do Narada Muni knew Krishna was speaking?
How Narada Muni knew Krishna was speaking? Because when we have progressed in devotional service, what happens? We gain intelligence. Right? The devotee knows this is the mind speaking. This is Maya. This is Krishna speaking. He had rendered devotional service. Right? What did he do? He had served the Vaishnavas. And then he engaged in Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, Kalona Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatrinita. Chanting. Meditate. So in a purified state, he knew. One time the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, did the deities really eat the breakfast that was just offered? Did they really eat it? And you know what Prabhupada said? I can see the deities eating, but you cannot. How is that the case? Because his senses were purified by bhakti. So he could see what we could not see. So similarly, Narada Muni can hear from Krishna because he was in a purified state. But our hearing is not purified. So we should not think, oh, Krishna is telling me to do this, I should do this. No. That's why Rupa Goswami says, no. You follow the instruction of Guru, who will tell us what to do. Because we're not yet internally purified to follow that voice. That voice that speaks to us, we don't know. Is that Krishna speaking? Or is that Maya Devi speaking? We don't know. Just like if, somebody brings us some real diamonds and fake diamonds. We'll not know which is real, which is fake. Why? Because we're not jeweler. We're not a trained jeweler. But you put in front of a jeweler, instantly you know, real, fake, real, real, fake, fake. They know. Simple. Why? Because they're expert. That is their expertise. So when one becomes expert devotee, they interact with Krishna. They can hear Krishna. But because we are not in that condition, we have to be very careful. If we try to imitate Narada Muni, Krishna is telling me that I should do this. Bogus. 100% bogus. We must follow the prescribed process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti under the order of Guru until one is sufficiently purified. Very important. And this is true in anything, right? Until we are expert, we cannot know what is real and what is fake. So Narada Muni knew, because he was a very advanced devotee. Remember, he reached Bhava Bhakti. This was stated a few verses ago. He came to the platform of Bhava Bhakti. Just to refresh everybody's memory, we have 3 layers of progressive devotional service. We have Sadhana Bhakti, then Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. And within Sadhana Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti is broken up into 2 parts. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means the regular practice of devotional service. That is what we are in, at least speaking for myself. And the goal is to progress towards Raganuga Bhakti to Bhava, but that's a long journey. So Narada Muni was already very advanced. So he had certainty. He was hearing from Krishna. But we should be very careful. Those voices singing in our head. Don't think, oh, that's Krishna's telling me to do this or that. Maybe, maybe not. But the best check is to be under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master. Then we can have assured success. And that's why in the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti principles, 64 angas are given. You do these 64 things. Very specific. Why? Because they're proven to be successful. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, gave these 64 angas. And said, you do these. And if you do these, you will advance. So it's perfect system. We don't have to guess. We don't have to worry, will it work or not? We have full faith, it'll work. Why? Because these processes came from Krishna himself. So we have no need to worry, maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not. Doctor gives us a medicine. We have doubt. Why? This doctor is not perfect. Maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not. But when Krishna gives the medicine, full faith, it will work. So he gave the 64 angas. And what are the first 5 angas? Accept the Guru. Surrender to Guru. Render service to Guru. Inquire from Guru. Follow the instructions of Guru. Literally, you open Nectar of Devotion. The first 5 angas are this. And of the 64 angas of devotional service, because you all might think I'm biased, which you probably are, and I'm always speaking on these 2 topics, Guru and our sadhana. But in the 64 angas, Rupa Goswami explains, there are 5 most potent practices. Of the 64, 5 are the most powerful. And what are the 5? Our Mangal Arti program. Srila Prabhupada established a morning program to include all 5 of the most potent of the 64. How merciful Srila Prabhupada was. He says, you start your day with these 5 power-packed angas of bhakti. Then how can you fail? You won't fail. Because you're following this most powerful process. It is Srila Prabhupada's ultimate gift to us. Everything Srila Prabhupada gave us, told us to do, it is full of purpose and meaning. There was no speculation of his own. That's why he always called it is a science. The process has been given. So all we have to do is fix our intelligence in this and make it happen. I know in my own experience, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he would always ask, what time do you wake up? What time do you chant your rounds? Are you doing morning program? If you were like, one time we were traveling with him, and every morning, and some people would see him, he would ask, did you attend morning program? Did you attend morning program? One time we reached the temple very late, I think after 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock. And he asked, did you attend morning program? Ultimate blessing. One time, we were leaving from one city. We were leaving from Kurukshetra and going back to Delhi. And we left early in the morning. And so we could not attend morning program because we had to get back. So in the car, he pulled out an altar, a picture altar. Gornitai, Panchatattva, Radhasham Sundar. And he had each devotee in the car sing the full morning program Okay, you sing Gurvastaka, Samsara Dava Nalali. Sing whole morning program performed in the vehicle. Because it wasn't practical to attend in the temple. So these instructions through actions become very clear for us. And why? Because it's the 5 most potent angas of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And these angas will do what? It will awaken the love of Krishna, which will allow our remembrance to constantly be situated at Krishna's lotus feet, which means we'll never be thwarted. It all leads to what? Perfection. But that perfection is achieved through this process, not through our own exploration of what is right and what is wrong. So I'm only speaking to myself today, so in this discussion, but it's a great opportunity. Any other questions or comments? Now nobody will ask. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam ki.